This is the
Welcome to Raw is Jericho!
The following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Listen up, you blind slapnut.
If I can be serious for a minute.
This is the Flex Network. This is the Flex Network. Flex on them. Flex on everybody.
The real reason I came here tonight is because we are live!
We are NXT.
It's your time, folks.
Sweet! A little bit of the bubbly.
The preceding announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
For life.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all thy ages, we're back. We've been off for a little bit here on the Wrestling Week in Review show. It's your boy, the SnowMan, and man, has a lot of things been going down in the last few weeks that we've been on the air. Man, we've had the Great American Bash. We've had Road Rager. We've had Fighter Fest. Night 1, night 2. We've had next week is going to be for the Fallen. We had WWE have fans again at Smackdown. We had Money in the Bank. We've had surprise returns. We've had cash-ins already. Well, cash-in already. And we're just getting started on this road to SummerSlam. And good God, what it's been busy. Man, guys, I'm going to, again, this has just been a long few weeks, guys, since our last show. I'm not going to go too far backwards. You know, I'm going to do the last week, but I am going to voice and give you guys opinion or my thoughts of what's been going on over the past 3 weeks. I think it's been 3 weeks since we've had a show. My calculations are correct, to say the least. Yeah, about 3 weeks. 3 weeks since we've had our last shizo here on the network. So again, going to give some quick opinions about what's been going on. But first, let's get through the news. The first big one, of course, for us is, I know we're a little bit late, but Mr. Wonderful passed away on the 12th of this month, age 71. Rest in peace, Mr. Wonderful. Paul Orndorff. You will be sorely missed. Former WCW World TV Champ, 3-time WCW Tag Team Champion. It was sad to see him, be gone. Get that notification like, oh, wake up and Mr. Wonderful has passed away. Damn. It sucked. Man, what does that leave? Like a majority of the main event from WrestleMania 1. Pretty much everyone on one side is left. You got Mr. T and Hulk Hogan that is still left from the WrestleMania 1 main event that is alive, because we've lost Piper, we've lost Mr. Wonderful, we've lost I don't think we've lost Cowboy Bob Orton Sr. I think he's still alive and kicking. But we did lose. Actually, we kind of lost the main of the wrestlers, and then for one side, and then the manager for the other, in Jimmy Superfly Snuka passing away. But now, in moving on, Bailey, no, she had successful surgery on her torn ACL. She's going to be out for 9 months. Sucks to see that she's going to be gone for that amount of time, which leaves a pretty big opening on SmackDown besides Bianca Belair as the top wrestler on there for because again, Bayley been carrying that brand for the longest time. And again, this is also going to bring me to another point because on, if you've been noticing, paying attention with the rosters, especially on the women's side. And again, I keep bringing this up almost every time I come here. It always seems like the Raw roster has always been more stacked with talent. But now the powers that be have switched as the SmackDown women's roster has more women than Raw right now at this very moment. You gotta think. Bayley, Bianca, Carmella, Liv, Mia Yim, Naomi, Natalia, Sasha, Shotzi, Tamina, Tegan, Tony, and Zelina, all on one women's roster. I'm not going to count Sonya Deville because she's an authority figure, but take out Bayley, as of course she's injured right now, but she's still on the SmackDown roster. SmackDown has more active wrestlers than Raw right now, compared to Bliss. Of course, the switch between Aaliyah and Mandy Rose. Of course, Mandy Rose heading down to NXT, heading backwards to NXT, and essentially breaking up the Dana Brooke Mandy Rose tag team right there, which just eliminates another tag team right there. Asuka, Becky, Charlotte, Dana, Doudrop, aka Piper Niven, unfortunately, Eva Marie, Lacey Evans, Nia Jax, Nikki Ash, Rhea Ripley, and Shayna Baszler. There's more, and of course, take out Becky and Lacey because they're on maternity leave right now, as they're not on TV. Raw women's roster has shrunk. And for a show that's 3 hours long, you've got to be thinking, well, why? They should be having more women on the Raw roster because they need more, time to fill in for the 3 hours. And you're getting rid of one. Granted, you brought two in to basically, you brought two in. That's one. That's actually technically that's doing the work with Eva Marie coming back and transferring Piper from NXT UK and bringing her up, and then doing a switch with Mandy Rose and Aaliyah doing the switch from NXT to Raw. And again, Eva Marie hasn't done much of a damn thing down and since she's been on Raw, which I'm not surprised at whatsoever. But with all of that talent, and you need to fill up for 3 hours. And again, the Raw, the SmackDown tag team, or sorry, not the SmackDown tag team, the women's tag team titles are being currently held by SmackDown. You have no real tag team on Raw. And again, I say real tag team because Eva Marie, Doudrop, I don't see it as anything. That's not a tag team. That's just a talented wrestler carrying dead weight. Literally carrying dead weight that thinks she's all that and has no business being in a wrestling ring. Maybe a manager, but not as a wrestler. That's the honest opinion. Sorry, Eva, but Eva Marie, you are a manager. You should be a manager. Nowhere near a wrestling ring. If you're a social media influencer, like you say you are, then be a social media influencer from the outside and help a talent out by, getting them on airtime and, helping them win matches. Don't be the spotlight stealer in the ring where you have no wrestling ability that is actually marketable to be viewable, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people, when they see Eva on their TV, that in a wrestling ring, they just like, okay, we're gonna go get some, let's go get cooks, get some snacks, go get some popcorn. And now with them being on the road again, I would not be surprised come Monday, you're gonna see a lot of people out of their seats and heading towards the concession stands, heading towards the bathroom, because they don't want to see it. And unfortunately, if you're gonna put, like a Dana Brooke versus Eva Marie, or a Nia Jax versus Eva Marie, or just unfortunately, in any capacity, maybe Alexa Bliss can at least save it a little bit and, keep the people there to hopefully see Alexa make Eva's life, crazy. But if anyone else, maybe with the exception of Becky Lynch, they are all going to unfortunately stand up and go to the bathroom, go get some popcorn, for the second half of the show, or for the remainder of the show. Go get a hot dog, go get a soda, go get some chips, go get some candy. They're going to take an extensive break. I'm like, dang. Oh, Eva Marie's here. All right, let's go stretch out. Let's go take a break, because we got nothing interesting to see here. Unfortunately, that's honest opinion. But back to SmackDown quickly. They're just they're dominating in the numbers. You got, besides Bayley being gone and Sonya Deville being on screen role, SmackDown has more talent than Raw, and that's the honest truth. That can, you guys may have a different opinion. You can post that. You can comment on, of course, on YouTube. You could, send it on over at us on Twitter. That we'll reply to it. But it's just a fact. They are stacked to the brim on SmackDown with the talent for the women's roster, and that's the honest truth right now. Let's see what else before we get going. NXT, of course, where it will be moved to Sci-Fi Network for 2 weeks, starting this next Tuesday, due to the Olympics. And boy, I'm going to have something about the Olympics in a few minutes. But yeah, the Olympics coverage on the USA Network, on the NBC Sports Network, on NBC is going to be pushing NXT on Tuesdays over to Sci-Fi. So, starting with the July 27th show for the next 2 weeks, that will be over on the Sci-Fi Network, which, of course, WWE on ECW, the ECW version of WWE was on SmackDown, or was on Sci-Fi for a time. And a lot of times when, of course, SmackDown was not available on what I believe it was the CW at the time, they would switch over to the Sci-Fi Network. Actually, I think so. I don't remember 100%, but I know if Sci-Fi was, if it was Raw that was not available on the USA Network at the time, they would move over to the Sci-Fi Network for whatever reason. USA, I think it was for the Westminster Kennel Dog Show for a couple times, that they would be showing on a Monday, and then they would move Raw over to Sci-Fi on, for that night, or they would move it over for a Tuesday, whatever the case may be. And I do know right now that on social media, someone has graciously posted spoilers for the next 2 weeks on NXT for what's going to happen. Yeah. Shame. Unfortunately, that I'm not going to say I've seen it like fully, but I'm not going to talk about it that much. So I'm going to react to the same thing as you guys. I do have it in the notes, but I was like, I'm not going to, I just put it up on my notes in case something ever came up. But again, someone posted it and on social media, and you know what? I want to react to the same, what happens on for the next 2 weeks on NXT. And again, it's been getting good down there in NXT. New Japan Pro Wrestling has announced that the G1 Climax Tournament, the 31st annual, will run September through October, the 18th through September 18th through October 18th. But as with the state of emergency that Japan is currently in, go figure, with COVID, things may change, dates may change, so be on the lookout for that. Of course, the winner of the G1 Climax Tournament will get last few years has a guaranteed title opportunity against the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion or the double champion. But now, as both belts have been combined, it will be a briefcase to get a guaranteed main event spot at Wrestle Kingdom to kick off the new year. So, but normally, again, the G1 tournament is in this in the summer, but because of the Olympics getting canceled last year and then moved to this year, New Japan, and of course, Japan hosting it, they moved it to this, the fall, so that they can be accommodating to the world's stage for the games. We do know that NXT TakeOver 36 will be the night after SummerSlam. That was announced during NXT this week, that NXT TakeOver 36 will be the night after SummerSlam. So, interesting strategy. I mean, and I've said this on past shows before, where you have SummerSlam be on a Saturday, number one, first time in a long while that we've had a Saturday show for the main roster. I think this might be like, well, besides WrestleMania, the 2-night event situation the last 2 years. But for SummerSlam to be on a Saturday in Vegas and on a fight night with Pacquiao, down there 15 minutes away at MGM Arena having a fight, that's going to be crazy as on its own right there. To, again, with the rumor that WWE is going to try to get the main event over before the main fight, before the Pacquiao fight starts, so that people can get up, go, walk 15 minutes to MGM Arena that have tickets to go see the fight and miss, the undercard stuff and maybe the main card action, or to get to a bar nearby and check out the fight. But now, of course, that left open the question, well, what's going to happen? What are we going to do for the Sunday? Well, now we know that NXT 36 will be happening on the night after SummerSlam. And of course, we know that that the NXT UK Championship will be up for grabs at TakeOver 36. Walter will defend against Ian Dragunov, or Dragovich, I think it is Dragovich, to make up for what was supposed to happen couple weeks ago, last week. But because of Walter's injury, he is out. Can't defend the title with his left hand. He is out. So now it's been moved to TakeOver 36 here in the States, which should be a damn good match. But that's it for the big news. Actually, and one last thing. During the night of the first night back for WWE on Smackdown with fans, Davey Boy Smith Jr., the British Bulldog's son, was at Smackdown in a dark match. So hopefully this will bring, officially bring Davey Boy back to WWE. I mean, again, to not only have Natalya, Jim the Anvil Neidhart's daughter in the company, but to bring back British Bulldog's son back in and have the Hart Foundation, the Hart family right there back in the fold full time. But that's really all the news for the moment. I'll quickly talk about what's been going on the last couple of weeks. I'm not going to go through match by match. I'll talk about Fyter Fest Night 2, of course, that happened this past week. I'll talk about last week's Raw, or this past week's Raw with the fans in attendance. I'll talk about of course, the first week of SmackDown with fans in the back, and of course, this past week's NXT, and of course, Money in the Bank. But just quickly go through a couple things that have been going on over the last couple weeks. The Bash was great. If you guys remember, NXT had the Great American Bash then right after the 4th of July, that Tuesday. Sorry about that. We had tag team titles retained. LA Knight retained his $1 million title. And getting the services of Cameron Grimes as a butler. We have new women's tag team titles, or tag team champs, and Zoe Stark and Io Shirai. Tegan Nox is back, baby. I'm happy about that. She is back in wrestling form. And we got the draw, or the series evened up between Adam Cole, baby, and baby, and Kyle O'Reilly as they are squared up. Dynamite, Road Rager. The strap match was awesome. Cody had a great revenge. The Young Bucks retained their AEW tag team titles in a street fight against Pentagon Jr. and Eddie Kingston. Sheamus on Raw retained U.S. title. Xavier Woods beat Lashley before Money in the Bank. We had a great Falls Count Anywhere match with Ricochet and John Morrison to end the Thunderdome era for Raw. Fyter Fest Night 1. Mox retained the IWGP US title. We have a new FTW World Champion and Ricky Starks. Darby Allin buried Ethan Page in the coffin match, and Coffin dropped him also, just for insult to injury. First Raw back, or sorry, I'm not yet there yet. And then NXT before we roll into Money in the Bank. Karrion Kross retained the NXT title on Johnny Gargano and then put Samoa Joe to sleep. But yeah, pretty much a lot of stuff that went down. But let's get into Money in the Bank. And this is where my big gripe is going to be with. I'm gonna run down go through the card and give you my reaction to everything, and then I'll give you my gripe with what happened. And I'm sure everyone knows about the big gripe that happened. Pre-show, first pay-per-view back with fans in the stands, Money in the Bank. And again, that place was rocking like there was none other. Tag team titles up for grabs for SmackDown. The Usos defeat the father-son duo of Rey Mysterio and Dominic. We have new SmackDown tag team champs. The Bloodline dripping in gold now. Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Liv Morgan, Naomi, Natalya, Tamina, Zelina Vega, and Nikki Ash, almost a superhero. That was a great match to open the pay-per-view with. A lot of action with these women. And surprise, surprise, a Nikki Ash, almost a superhero, is your Miss Money in the Bank ladder match winner. She is Miss Money in the Bank. And literally just came out of nowhere, just, scurried up the ladder while everyone else was fighting, climbs over Natalya, and just grabs the briefcase, and everyone's like, what? Really? How'd she get up there that fast and just unclip? It was a great match. Loved it, and everyone was feeling that matchup from the word go. Raw tag team titles up for grabs. AJ Styles and Omos taking on the Viking Raiders. Omos and Styles retain. That was a really good tag team match. It was a really good tag team match. I loved it. A lot of back and forth between these two teams that actually gave Omos a lot more gumption to work with. It was fun. I loved it to see almost just toss AJ Styles outside and get and deliver the Hurricane Rana on, I believe, Eric of the Viking Raiders, and it was awesome. I loved it. Unfortunately, this is where we start. There was a little bit of a downhill as Bobby Lashley just decimates Kofi Kingston via submission for the WWE title. Literally, the match didn't even go 10 minutes, unfortunately. In a great night of action, we get to see Kofi just get decimated. Not even as bad as Kofi's match against Brock Lesnar for the WWE title, but at least with Lesnar, it was show up, F5, we're done. This time around, it was just destroy. And unfortunately, I think that this really hurts because having Kofi Kingston lose in under 10 minutes to Bobby Lashley doesn't help. I mean, it makes Bobby Lashley, built more, like a monster, but it doesn't help. Actually, I want to retract that. It did help a little because, granted, with everything that went into the match, Bobby Lashley losing his edge over the last couple of weeks from Hell in a Cell, caring more about the party and the girls thanks to MVP, loses a tag team match to New Day. That was okay, whatever. Getting called out, it's like, hey, you're caring more about vacation and the girls and the booze than you are about business, and you're losing your edge. Lashley loses a match to Xavier Woods, flips the switch. It's like, okay, back to business. And then, of course, we get that match at Money in the Bank. Decimates Kofi Kingston. I thought maybe at least give the man some hope, give him a little bit more action. But unfortunately, Bobby Lashley just decimates Kofi Kingston, putting a stop to that. Charlotte and Rhea for the Raw Women's title. And you know what? I can't front. That was a great matchup between these two women. Charlotte and Rhea going back and forth throughout the night. It was awesome. Rhea looked like we were going to get it finally, but unfortunately, Charlotte takes out the legs and with the steel steps, locks in the figure eight, and makes Rhea tap out. Got a new Raw Women's Champion in Charlotte Flair with a big woo for that. Men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Awesome match. Drew McIntyre, John Morrison, Kevin Owens, King Nakamura, Ricochet, Matt Riddle, Seth Rollins, and Big E. Man, that was a great ladder match. Loved it. And there was a couple of times where we're like, no, we're not going to see Seth Rollins win this match. We don't want to see Seth freaking Rollins. I mean, there was a couple times even that Drew was looking like he was going to get it. But Big E pulls up big and is your new Men's Money in the Bank winner, as he is Mr. Money in the Bank. But before we get to the main event, this is where the big gripe comes in, because if you were watching on Peacock, if you guys were watching on Peacock, there was technical difficulties galore from the beginning, the entrances, maybe a little bit before, just starting to get just random stop goes, blend-ins and everything. Barely could tell so that was going. I'm just expressing of what was happening. So if you're listening to this on podcast and you're thinking, okay, what the heck is going on with this feed right now? The audio. It's like, no, I'm just reinvigorating of what the heck happened. I'm redoing what was happening on the live stream, because you would be hearing sentences, but it would be a stop and go, maybe get a word, and then for a little bit. And this lasted from the entrances all the way through to like a good portion, like the early beginnings of the match, maybe like 5 minutes into the match, whatever. And then we get, this, there's no, like someone even checking Twitter, just what's going on with, seeing the WWE posting like the gifs of the entrances and everything. And like, what is going on with the stream, guys? Checking to see, just refresh. Like, is WWE not going to announce something? Say something. I don't know if they announced it during the show, but again, we couldn't hear because of the lag and everything. So eventually, we get, there was a Twitter post or whatnot. Hey, Peacock has, the WWE Network or Peacock has fixed the problem. Just refresh or exit out, restart the feed, and you should be good. Okay, whatever, refresh. Okay. Now, but here's the great part, because WWE Money in the Bank was the first time fans, pay-per-view fans back since WrestleMania. And the fact that this was I would say, a test subject for the here and now Olympic Games, because remember, Peacock is going to be streaming, I believe, all the events on their network site, on the Peacock streaming service. Because again, NBC's got as the rights, the exclusive broadcast rights for the Olympic Games, and with Peacock now, they can stream all the games that may or may not be on like the mainstay with the NBC or NBC, USA, NBC Sports Network, whatever broadcast they're not going to put on TV. So if you want to catch, say softball, and it's not going to be on TV, you can check it out on Peacock. And again, it's not cheap. This is not a plug for Peacock at the moment. But the fact that this was I would say a guinea pig test subject for the stream to see how it works, because you can't, Peacock, you cannot be having this technical issue on your fourth pay-per-view. No, not even fourth pay-per-view. We're a good few months. March 18th was the initial start of this whole was for Peacock. So March 18th to July. We're 1, 2, 3. We're 4 months into this $1 billion deal with Peacock renting the WWE Network for I believe, if I remember hearing about on Busted Radio, I believe it's Busted Open, with Bully Ray saying something. I don't know if it was official, but just to take a guess, it was $1 billion for 5 years just to rent, just to have the exclusive rights to stream the pay-per-views and and all the content from the WWE Network. You're paying 5 years for $1 billion, and you are having technical difficulties 4 months into your your first 4-month glitch. 4 months into it, and we've had Hell in a Cell, In Your House, Backlash, WrestleMania, Fastlane, and The Chamber. If I'm being correct on this, if I can, obviously being correct on what it is. So 5 pay-per-views in the last year, or in the last several months. Sorry, in the last 4 months. Yeah, Hell in a Cell. Money in the Bank, Money in the Bank, Hell in a Cell, Backlash, WrestleMania, both nights. Fastlane, Chamber. Yeah. So you would think you would want to get these tests up, bugs out. But why are you doing it on a obviously a big pay-per-view that people are coming back and people are going to be watching? Why are you going to do that? Why is it going to have it now? And I get that, it could have happened, there's technical difficulties they can't do nothing about. I understand that. But when you're, and again, it was a short amount of time for the fix. Again, but you can't be doing that, especially with SummerSlam coming up and especially with the Olympics coming up. You can't be having this, especially when you got passionate WWE fans who are maybe not in Texas at the pay-per-view, but they're at home, and especially, here in the United States, you can't be doing, can't be really having that. I can understand a bug, here and there, maybe on the networks, on the streaming site part, but not on the live feed. Can't be having that kind of stuff. Because if it happens during the Olympics, do you know how much trouble they're going to be in? There's gonna be some serious heads rolling, and the network's gonna have their heads yelled at and chomped off by the Olympics, because dang, how many people are already gonna be ticked off about that? But the fact that you're having streaming problems for an event, but yeah, no, Peacock gotta do better, guys. Gotta do better. I can understand early on, maybe Fastlane and Elimination Chamber, there's a couple, there'd be a couple bugs, especially before WrestleMania. But there wasn't any bugs or stuff like that. And I get upgrades and, constant change and everything. I get that. But, and we can't really have that before SummerSlam, because that one's going to be a big one. And if SummerSlam has bugs and they're in the stream, there's going to be, so many problems. Universal title match. This one, I seriously thought we were going to get a new Universal Champion with Edge taking on Roman Reigns for the Universal title. I mean, Edge and Roman back and forth throughout the match. This went almost 35 minutes, guys. It was a 33-minute match, guys. This over 30 minutes. This was an awesome match. And with Roman almost literally having those moments where he was down and out, Edge gets so close with the Mysterios running interference on the Usos. You're thinking, okay, this is going to happen. But if you remember watching the end of the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, you're thinking Seth Rollins is like, what do I got to do? I got to change the game plan. I got to come up with a new plan. I got next on the Universal title. I don't care who wins. I got next. And you're thinking in your head, and I'm thinking in my head, oh my God, is he gonna give Edge the title? Because I want to say before, on the Smackdown before, with fans in the stands, which again was awesome, to see again with Roman Reigns and Usos taking on Edge and Dominic and Rey Mysterio. That was a hell of a good match. Shotzi and Tegan Nox taking on Natalya and Tamina. That was real good match. SmackDown Women's title up for grabs. Bianca and Carmella. That was a great match for the women. Even the Fatal 4-Way was awesome. Seth, Biggie, Kevin Owens, Shinsuke. Awesome Fatal 4-Way on that SmackDown. But you got to be thinking Seth Rollins is going to, I would say, help Edge get the title, because you got to think he wants to, if he's, saying, oh, well, I hope you win so I can do what I did to you 7 years ago and finish the job. That sets up for a great SummerSlam match right there. Universal title, Edge, Seth Rollins. But no, Seth comes in, screws Edge. And that took a potentially awesome Universal title match right there and just flush it to a non-title match, because Roman Reigns retains thanks to Seth Rollins' interference, and he's still the undisputed Universal Champion. And you're thinking, okay, they're fighting, and they're calling for him. Roman's calling for a mic. He gets the mic, acknowledge me and everything. And all of a sudden, It's John Cena. Oh my God, that place erupted and cheered for John Cena. That was the cherry on top for the Money in the Bank, to see John Cena return back on American soil, back in the WWE, and again setting up for SummerSlam again, guys. Guess he wants Mr. Reigns one more time at SummerSlam. That was Money in the Bank, guys. That was awesome Money in the Bank, besides the technical difficulties from the men's Money in the Bank ladder match in Peacock. So, but otherwise, this is a great night. Let's see quickly, because again, I want to get you guys out of here to go check, especially on the West Coast, on this Friday, the 23rd. Want to get you guys to go watch Smackdown if you don't have like the East Coast version yet. Talk about Fyter Fest night 2. Jericho takes out Shawn Spears in his first chapter of the 5 Labors of Jericho. A chairs match for Shawn Spears, as he was allowed to use chairs. I mean, that match was awesome. I mean, Fyter Fest night 2 was great. Loved every second of it. It was fun. And then, of course, afterwards, we get the announcement for Chapter 2, and of course, the added stipulation for the rest of the chapters for the labors, that Jericho can't have anyone from the inner circle help stop the interferences for helping Jericho. Otherwise, he won't get another shot at MJF. But surprise of the night, literally. How do you literally start with the night? You make a big ass surprise, and you say it's going to be a no disqualification match, and it's going to be against Nick freaking Gage. And the man is no joke, guys. Literally, this guy is insane for a death. He is a death match icon right now. Literally, was pronounced dead for 8 minutes in a death match, came back to life and wanted to continue the match, and he had to be restrained. How the hell do you do that? Any sensible man would be like, okay, wait a minute, what? I get, wrestling a match and you're bleeding buckets, but you're pronounced dead? Oh, for 8 minutes? Or we give you rest in peace. Give him the last rites and everything. You come back to life and you're like, your first thought is, okay, let's continue. Dude, the match is over. We had to stop it. You died for 8 minutes. Stop. We need you to stop. It's like, no, I want to keep fighting. That is unheard of. I would have been stunned, silent, and be like, God, this man's a beast. But yeah, that is 5 labor. That is the second labor next week at Fight for the Fallen. Doc Gallows defeats Frankie Kazarian at Fyter Fest night 2. It was an okay match. Darby Allin defeats Wheeler Yuta. A best friends applicant to join the group, and the best moment of the entire another best moment of the night, Orange Cassidy and Stinger with the lazy super kicks, and then Sting just comes out with the lazy hype up, beating the chest. Literally the best moment of the night was that moment right there. If you haven't seen it, you need to go on YouTube and watch that. It's literally the best. AEW Women's Title up for grabs. Britt Baker defeats Nyla Rose. Nyla Rose loses via submission to Britt Baker, a DMD. And an awesome matchup for Britt Baker. She retains the AEW Women's title. Orange Cassidy gets payback on the Blade for him to continue to knock him out. And after the Darby Allin Wheeler match, he was knocked out again with some brass knucks from the Blade, but gets payback and knocks him out after the match. And then in a Texas death match, which saw forks, kendo sticks, chairs, tables with barbed wire, trash cans and lids, and a fan, literally, not a fan that keeps you cool, but a cheering fan, yay, that was used like a freaking battering ram in this match for the IWGP United States title. Lance Archer challenging Jon Moxley, and what a matchup. I mean, just for the plain fact you had a fork in the match, just, well, stick a fork in him. He's done, and he's bleeding. They're both bleeding. Lance Archer defeats Moxley and giving Mox his second ever second New Japan loss. As Jon Moxley was unable to answer the 10 count after going through the tables with barbed wire on top that he put there. But Firefest Night 2 was awesome. Go and rewatch it, guys. We know next week at Fight for the Fallen, we're going to have a big old 10-man tag with the Elite taking on Adam Page and the Dark Order. If Adam Page and the Dark Order win, Page will get his AEW World title match, and the Dark Order will get a AEW tag team title opportunity. If the Elite wins, no title shots. IWGP US title matches, another IWGP US title opportunity. But this time it's no rematch because it's Lance Archer will be defending it again. A week later, from literally being busted open in the Texas Death Match to Hikuleo, Bullet Club member and Haku's son, the legendary Haku, literally, and of course, brothers of Gorillas of Destiny, right there, Hikuleo. Of course, the 5 Labors of Jericho, Chapter 2, the no disqualification match. The Painmaker's coming back out because it's Nick freaking Gage. Painmaker Chris Jericho will take on Nick Gage, no disqualification, and that match is going to be bloody as hell. I can only imagine what chapters 3 through 4 or 3 through 5 are going to be after this. Damn. And of course, Santana Ortiz will take on FTR. That is next week on the Fight for the Fallen. Already talked about the first night of the fans back for SmackDown. First night for Raw back. Riddle and the Viking Raiders taking on AJ Styles, Omos, and John Morrison. 6-man tag. Riddle and the Viking Raiders beat AJ Styles, Omos, and John Morrison. Viking Raiders get a tag team title opportunity, I believe, next Monday. I want to say they get another shot next Monday in front of fans. Jackson Ryker defeats Elias in a Symphony of Destruction match. It was destructive. It was very destructive. Tamina and Natalya defeats Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. And after Reginald cost them another match, Jackson Baszler kicked Reginald to the dirt. But he picks himself right back up and gets to become 24/7 champion, defeating Akira Tozawa. Jeff Hardy returns to his one of his best themes, No More Words, as he takes on the Raw debut of the NXT champion Karrion Kross. And a lot of people are kind of conflicted on this one because this one I feel like has hurt Karrion Kross. I mean, on the call up, another NXT call up that gets destroyed. But here's the thing. Again, you have the NXT champion. What is he supposed to do? Come up here and just dominate? I mean, yeah, that would have been a great idea. But again, this sets up for the long term. And again, while it's Karrion Kross coming up here to take on Jeff Hardy, which I mean, again, is not being thrown right into the top level, guys like Randy Orton, or not being, maybe even AJ Styles, or being thrown up against Bobby Lashley right off the bat, or Kofi Kingston, and not being put up here. But it's like, okay, you're gonna be right in here because again, you're NXT champion. We're getting your call up. You're getting on TV, but the fact that Karrion Kross loses to Jeff Hardy, and again, with the roll up and then the feet up on the ropes, does set up a few, something for him to work on and to see how everyone reacts to him. And again, with no Scarlett there, it kind of hurts a little bit. But and again, this had lingering effects for NXT this past week. Again, this past week. And of course, what went on for the foreseeable recordings the tapings that they had, I guess what happened for the next 2 weeks for NXT down in Florida. So again, if you go and find the spoilers, which I hope you guys don't, but yeah, let's just say some things had to get reshoot. It was pretty bad down there for Mr. Cross, unfortunately. But yeah, Jeff Hardy picks up the victory on Karrion Kross's debut on the Raw brand, as he is apparently going to be on Raw. Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair rematch for Money in the Bank, and doesn't go over. So it was an okay matchup. Unfortunately, Rhea Ripley beats Charlotte Flair via disqualification. However, because title can't change hands via disqualification, Charlotte is still your Raw Women's Champion. But, however, wait, there's more, because after the match, Rhea just goes to town on Charlotte, and we get ourselves a cash-in. Nikki Ash, almost a superhero, cashes in, beats Charlotte Flair, and we got ourselves a new Raw Women's Champion in Nikki Ash, almost a superhero. Oh, sorry, almost superhero. But that was a great way to end Raw this past week. And of course, NXT. We're going to close out the show with the NXT, so you guys can go check out SmackDown here, at least on the West Coast. NXT, we had Bobby Fish and Kushida taking on Diamond Mine. Great tag team matchup this past Tuesday. Frankie Monet taking on, I guess, the local talent, Performance Center talent. Jancy Jane, Frankie Monet wins. Kyle O'Reilly defeating Austin Theory. Great matchup right there. It was an awesome matchup right there. Odyssey Jones defeats Andre Chase in the in the first round of the breakout tournament for an opportunity to get a future championship opportunity of whatever they want at NXT. And he moves on to the semifinals. Drake Maverick beats LA Knight and then gets a beatdown afterwards from both Knight and then a reluctant Cameron Grimes, because he seriously wanted to go to the moon to avoid that beating or that punch of Drake Maverick. NXT champion Raquel Gonzalez beats Xia Li in the title match. And of course, near the end of the match, Xia Li gets, I want to say, injured / maybe a little bit, injured to a point where they had to stop the match near, almost to the end. But apparently she was good to go. Finished off. Raquel Gonzalez retains her NXT Women's Championship. So Xia Li, I guess she's going to be out for a little bit. We don't know the full extent of what injury she got. I mean, she because when Raquel Gonzalez landed, she landed pretty good in her midsection. So hopefully Xylee is okay. And then I kind of had to save this for last because if you saw Isaiah Swerve Scott and Hit Row step into Legado del Fantasma, I felt like, unfortunately, Isaiah Swerve Scott channeled in his inner Jeff Jarrett, that JEFFJARR or JARTT. I believe it's Jeff. If I got this, the how he did it was, if I got it wrong, I'm gonna kick myself in the butt for that. But that Jeff Jarrett, but not even the WWF version of Jeff Jarrett. I'm talking, not the don't piss me off Jeff Jarrett. I'm talking WCW. Listen up, slap nuts, because he made a good swing on one of the members of Legado del Fantasma with a guitar and basically just told Legado del Fantasma, if you want to come from my NXT North American title, well, you could choke on this guitar there. With this guitar shot, you could choke on this, slap nuts, because he had one hell of a swing. But that was NXT this past week. We talked about Raw. We talked about everything else that's happened. Gave some opinions about what else has been going on. Know that I'm going to end the show with 10 minutes to spare before you got, again, this is on right before Smackdown, so everyone can go and check out Smackdown if you on the West Coast side. If you've already seen Smackdown, good for you on the East Coast, or if you have the East Coast feed. But that is going to be it for me, guys. Actually, yeah. Quick little things, last little bits. For our brethren, my buddy Mr. Max, over at WAC. Again, his shows are coming back, guys. His shows are coming back, and we already know that August 29th, his show's sold out next month. That's right. His first show back sold out. Tickets gone. You can't find them. You can't beg and plead for, hey, can you release some more tickets? We want to come. We're sorry. We're sold out. But yeah, don't forget there's other events coming up. The September 26th, Halloween for his year 3 show. November 28th, then December 19th. Make sure you guys go wacprowrestling.com/events. But let's get done with our normal house clean before we peace out and get done with an hour show. That was a quick one. Be sure to like and subscribe and follow everything we do here on the Flex Network. You can follow us at Flex Network 1 for your fantasy football and your football content on Twitter. Of course, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter. We're on the YouTube, and I'm giving you all of our tags and everything that you can find us. Twitter, you can follow us at the Flex Network 1 for your football and fantasy football content. And it's coming back, guys. Football shows are coming back soon. And actually, the fantasy football is starting to pick up a little bit. But we're getting close, guys. Football season's almost here. You can follow us at MMA Evergreen for your MMA and UFC content. And of course, you guys should be following us at the FlexNet_PW Elite for your wrestling content. We've been a little slack a little bit. Sorry about that. And of course, you can follow us on our YouTube pages. Just search Flex Network for your football and fantasy football content. And of course, Flex Network Wrestling for your wrestling content that you're getting right here on YouTube. Be sure to like and subscribe. Also, that podcast, we're on Spotify. We're on the major networks, Spotify, Apple, wherever else. If we're not somewhere where you get your podcasts fixed from, let us know. We'll get there and flex on that. But that is going to be it for me, guys. I'm going to peace on out of here so you guys can go check out Smackdown. I am the SnowMan, and I will see you guys next week on the road to SummerSlam. Peace out.
This has
You got some fellow Canadians.
But when you're from Calgary,
Where's that?
Alberta, Canada,
A one-way first-class ticket to Larryland.
what is it with you folks coming to Florida? Stay in your own country.
This is the Flex Network. This is the Flex Network. Flex on them. Flex on everybody. Right here.
Why me? Why me? Why me? Don't blame Canada. Blame yourself.
Feels like showtime every minute to me. I can't help it.
No. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Ta-ta for now.
We're out of time. Good night on Nitro.
The preceding announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Well, you're welcome, Jurassic Slap Ass.